Holy Hylian rice cakes on a Thursday morning. What? I cannot believe how the final trailer for Tears of the Kingdom blew my expectations out of the water and all the way into the freaking Zonai Sky Islands. Man, I wish I would have recorded my reaction. I don't think I've ever felt so many different intense emotions from a video game trailer since never. There's just so much in this trailer. I don't even have enough time to make all the videos I'd like to speculate and theorize about before the game comes out. Damn. Or hell yeah. I don't know. I'm conflicted. But anyway, I just wanted to focus on the few things that stood out to me the most in this trailer. So don't forget to slash that like button and subscribe. Check out the link in the description if you want to help support the channel and get cool perks. And let's skydive right in. Well, there's been so much speculation and theories and hopes that the dungeons were going to be coming back in Tears of the Kingdom. And even though technically nothing is confirmed, I'd put money on dungeons making their way back into the Zelda series. Not only do we get a whole lot of scenes that look super reminiscent of the interior of an epic Zelda dungeon, but we see a lot of structures and areas that totally look like dungeons. The first one I noticed is this scene right here, which looks like the Gerudo Desert at night. The ground violently shakes as something slowly protrudes and bends the earth upwards, and then it cuts briefly to the side of a temple-like structure, rising with sand falling off of it as it shakes and ascends. I mean, if this doesn't scream Zelda dungeon, then the Wand of Gamelon is the best canon Zelda game ever. It is, right? Anyway, this desert structure could possibly be the Arbiter's Ground from Twilight Princess. Breath of the Wild loved vaguely hinting at past Zelda lore with locations, and there was an Arbiter's Ground location in Breath of the Wild. How cool would it be if it was unearthed in this scene right here? And not only that, but it seems like there is a whole lot that's been hidden under Hyrule for a while now. We see another shot of the desert with crazy looking quicksand that seems to be sinking underground. You know, like quicksand does. And wow, it seems like there is a whole underground world with many ways to access it. Right after that shot, we see Link running in a lava-filled underground area with an ancient-looking stone structure built into the wall. This could be the inside of Death Mountain, but it could also be a part of the underground, or both. And that structure makes me not only think dungeons automatically, but there could be like ancient lost worlds or forgotten cities under Hyrule. This game seems bigger and bigger the more they show us. There's also a floating ship near the Cyclone that we've seen in the game cover art and throughout the trailers, which has got to be a location or some area that will need completing. And for all intents and purposes, seems like it will either have a dungeon within it in the ship or serve as a dungeon-like area itself. We also see Link and Teba's son, I think, later on fighting this massive boss creature. That's just another implication that this area will be dungeon-like and that bosses are back, baby. Hells yes. And there are other boss-like creatures that show up throughout the trailer, which is just even more juice to fill this theory with. There are many shots that seem like they could be within a dungeon or entering one, like Link diving through these lasers, Link shooting up on a Sheikah elevator, Link gliding at high speeds through a Zonai-like structure that kind of reminds me of the Lomé Labyrinth, and maybe it is, but it could have opened up and turned into a full-fledged dungeon, or serve as a mini-dungeon. And there's other underground shots where Link rides carts, and this trailer really shows how vast the Sky Islands are, and some of these structures totally harken back to a Zelda dungeon vibe. It seems the upheaval is changing a lot of things in Hyrule. I think we could see ancient dungeons that were referenced in past games unearthed, that were hiding deep beneath Hyrule. Breath of the Wild vaguely referenced past events and locations in Hyrule a lot, and maybe we will see the continuation of that in much more meaningful ways this time around. So to me, with all the evidence prior to this trailer coming out, which I have a video about if you want to check it out right here, in addition to these new scenes, it's clear that dungeons in one form or another are going to make an appearance in Tears of the Kingdom. The epicness of this trailer is on another level. This trailer really makes this game seem a little darker and much more narratively focused than its predecessor, Breath of the Wild. At least from what we can tell in this trailer anyway. I got huge Age of Calamity vibes from this trailer, like in the aspect of an ongoing war. Well, and the freaking epic music. I love it so much. Let's just listen to that main theme for a second. I just can't get enough of it.
Link.
So good. So anyway, there are several scenes where Link is joined by a companion or fighting with other people with the most epic music playing and voiceovers that just make it seem like it's all of Hyrule versus Ganondorf and his forces of evil, and Link is leading the charge. I have been waiting for a Zelda game to adapt this kind of story for a long time. We always hear about major wars in Hyrule, but we don't really get to be in them, like in an official mainstay Zelda game. But it seems the new champions, Zelda, Hylians, Gorons, the Gerudo, the Sheikah, and the Zonai are all helping Link in a more hands-on kind of way in this game. If these Egyptian god-looking creatures are Zonai. We're just gonna call them Zonai for now, cause that's gotta be what they are, right? This scene right here seems like there are more blurred in the background, and they're looking serious and gearing up for war. You see this figure, that has gotta be this guy, who shares the same aesthetics, but almost seems like he's their leader or a powerful figure in their clan. Approach Zelda and tell her,
"We rely on your knight, and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link."
And there are plenty other shots that totally implicate a warlike setting. We see Link riding into battle with other Hylians, fighting a mob of bokoblins, bokoblins riding a stone talus with a platform on it, and Link heading towards them, head-on with a tank-like structure powered by his new abilities, no doubt. We see several shots of Link's allies, or Link fighting with his allies, some familiar faces, some not. At one point we hear,
But you are not alone.
as you see him battling with Sidon, a shot of Riju, and all of them running toward what seems to be a giant Gleeok. Totally Age of Calamity vibes, but in an actual Zelda game. So I'm sure it's gonna be 1,000 times better. One thing I thought was interesting is you can see tears on some of Link's allies. Zelda is holding one and wearing one. This character is, and Sidon. So maybe the tears are held by powerful warriors of Hyrule who are helping Link, or maybe they have to be wielded by several individuals at the same time after they are collected, and defeating Ganondorf will be a joint effort. And Ganondorf seems like he's gathering an army just as well. He seems especially threatening the way he's portrayed in this trailer. It might take all of Hyrule united to actually defeat him this time. Big Daddy Dorf is back, and wow, he is super buff and intimidating, even more than his zombie form. We see more malice pouring out of him and shooting into the sky, which I'm actually making a video about this. I actually wrote it before this trailer came out, but it really connects with some of this information, so I'm updating it, and when it's out, I'll link it right here. But Ganondorf seems to rehydrate after his initial revival. At least with everything we've seen so far, that's how I feel. We hear him yell in a bellowing, assertive voice.
Do not look away. You witness a king's revival and the birth of his new world.
And yes, Ganondorf is always trying to take over Hyrule. But something about how this trailer portrays the story and Ganondorf, he seems so malicious and tyrannical. We see him fully restored as he yells and a Dragon Ball Z-like malice aura whirls around him. And we see more of his army created by the meteor-like malice, including, for the first time, some vicious-looking Lynels. Another interesting thing to note is in the official art that was released of Ganondorf, he wears what seems to be one of the tears of the kingdom on his forehead. So in this scene, it's hard to tell with all the glowing aura, but one of the tears is emanating immense power. And I know there's nothing to insinuate this, but I totally feel like Ganondorf is going to have a more character-focused game, and he's going to be more manipulating and strategic, as well as brooding and a damn near unstoppable force in many more ways than one. This whole trailer totally makes me feel like there's going to be a legendary story and a much bigger focus on the narrative, which makes me think Ganondorf will have a strong character arc. And the fact of how this game is being hyped up, and it's his first appearance in almost 20 years, and the epic feels and the stakes and the emotions this trailer emanates, just makes it feel like it's the culmination of something big. Now, there is also this shot right here, which seems like it's Ganondorf at first sight, but there are a lot of people theorizing that it's not, that it's actually Demise. And wow, as freaking cool as that would be, I don't think it is. Now, some of the reasons people are saying this is not only does it totally look like Demise, but the scene cuts before he turns around, his flaming hair definitely evokes Demise's flaming head, and the fact that when we finally do reveal Ganondorf, he appears to have short hair. So, therefore, he's a different character. Well, I'm pretty sure this is Ganondorf, because when we look at all the shots in other trailers before he is restored to his former glory, he has that long hair and in the same style. Also, he could have got a haircut. Okay, but seriously, Nintendo also released this official art, which shows Ganondorf carrying a samurai-looking sword, and his hair is shown to be tied back. So from the front, this is how he would appear. Now, I'm not saying Demise couldn't be involved in this game in some way. I'm just saying this isn't him. And the scene cuts away for dramatic effect before Ganondorf is actually revealed. And I think his hair is extra illuminated by the malice, because this is happening during the resurrection scene where malice is flying everywhere as it revives him. It's probably pumping through his bloodstream. Or it could just be later in the game where Ganondorf has undergone some sort of transformation, like he always does. But anyway, would it be cool if Demise was a part of the story? Hell yeah. But I think it's probably a long shot that he will be in the game. And I totally think this is Ganondorf for sure. Either way, I love Ganondorf's new look. He's more vicious, malicious, and terrifying than ever. And I can't wait more than ever to finally play this game and experience this epic tale, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. So what was your favorite part of the trailer? Do you think this is going to be a more war-focused story? Do you think dungeons will be in the game? Do you think this is a sneak peek of Demise? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any Zelda content. And if you want to help support the channel, you can throw a super thanks, which will be featured in future videos. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.